Ever feel like your brain and your wallet are in a constant tug of war? Well, you're not imagining it. In this explainer, we're going to get into the real, deep-down biological reasons why money can be so hard. So let's just get right to it, right? The big question. Why is managing money so incredibly difficult? I mean, why is it that we so often run out of money way before we run out a month? Or how do our closets get jam-packed while our savings accounts look, well, a little sad? Look, if you've ever felt that frustration, trust me, you are definitely not alone. And here it is, the single most important thing you're going to hear today. Ready? It's not your fault. This isn't some personal failure. The truth is, you and all of us are simply not hardwired to work well with money. The problem isn't your willpower, it's your biology. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with that classic battle, your brain versus your wallet. Then, we'll dive into why our brains are basically ancient survival machines. We'll look at the two competing brains inside your head, how sneaky biases hijack your spending, and that all-too-familiar instant gratification trap. And we'll wrap it all up with how to build a whole new financial mindset. Okay, Section 1, your brain versus your wallet. And let me be clear, this isn't about you, it's about brain science. So forget the boring spreadsheets for a minute. This is about understanding the very thing that's making all the decisions, and that is the first crucial step.
I love this analogy. Think about it. You can drive a car without being a mechanic, right? You don't need to know how the engine works down to the last bolt. Our goal here is the same. It's not to turn you into a neuroscientist, but to help you become a much better driver when it comes to your money.
All right, so now we get to the real root of the problem. Your brain is essentially an ancient survival machine. Imagine trying to run the latest, most advanced video game on a computer from the 1980s. That's kind of what's happening. Your brain's software is thousands of years old, and it just wasn't built for the world we live in now. And just to put this into perspective, check this out. For something like 50,000 years, we just bartered stuff. I'll trade you these berries for that pointy stick. Coins? That's a super recent invention, relatively speaking. And then you have something like Bitcoin, which basically just appeared. So is it any wonder our ancient brain gets totally confused by abstract ideas like 401ks and credit scores? Of course not. So here's the bottom line. Your brain has one main purpose. Its factory setting, if you will. Keep you alive. That's it. Its entire programming is about survival and reproduction. It's built to find food, avoid being eaten, and you know the rest. Smart financial decisions? Yeah, that wasn't exactly a priority in the original design. Okay, let's talk about the constant battle raging inside your head. We're talking about your two competing brains, and they're constantly fighting for control of your wallet. So you've basically got two characters in your head. Let's call them the feeling brain and the thinking brain. The feeling brain is fast, it's impulsive, it's all emotion. It's the one that's scrolling at 2 a.m. and absolutely has to buy that thing from the infomercial. Then you've got the thinking brain. It's slow, it's logical, it's the responsible one that actually has to pay the bills. And here's the kicker, the feeling brain always gets the first word. It's the first to react every single time. Now, because that thinking brain is so slow and takes up so much energy, our mind creates these little mental shortcuts to save time. These are what we call biases. And yes, sometimes they're helpful, but when it comes to money, they can totally hijack our spending and lead us way off track. Let's start with a big one, loss aversion. Have you ever noticed that losing $20 feels way worse than the pleasure you get from finding $20? That's loss aversion. The emotional pain of a loss is just so much more powerful than the joy of an equal gain. It's the reason people panic and sell their stocks the second the market dips. They just want to stop the pain, even if it means locking in a loss. Then there's overconfidence. This one's tricky. It's that voice in your head that says, hey, I'm really good at my job, so I'll probably be a great stock market investor. It's the belief that because you're a genius in one area of your life, that skill just automatically translates to something completely different, like finance. Spoiler alert, it usually doesn't. And oh boy, confirmation bias. You know this one. It's when you make a kind of questionable purchase, and what's the first thing you do? You go online and search for all the 5-star reviews to make yourself feel better. We are literally wired to search for information that confirms we made a good choice, and we totally ignore anything that suggests we might have been wrong. Okay, all of this leads us to the big one, the final boss of financial challenges, the instant gratification trap. There's a very real, very powerful chemical reason why your brain prefers buy now over save for later. And get ready for this number, because it's pretty wild.
Some studies suggest that somewhere between 95 and 99% of our spending is automatic. It's unconscious. It's driven purely by emotion. I mean, that's basically everything. That's your feeling brain just running the whole show, almost all the time.
So what's actually happening in your brain? Well, it's a simple, powerful cycle. It's called the dopamine spending cycle. Step 1, you see the sale. The mere anticipation of a reward kicks in. Step 2, your brain releases a flood of this feel-good chemical, dopamine. That creates a huge craving. And step 3, you buy the thing and your brain gets the reward it was looking for. But here's the crazy part. Often, the dopamine rush from just thinking about buying it is even bigger than the one you get from actually owning it.
Okay, so after all that doom and gloom about our ancient brains, what can we actually do about it? Well, that brings us to our last section, building a new financial mindset. And the key here is realizing that the goal isn't to fight your brain. That is a battle you will lose. The goal is to start working with your brain, not against it.
All right, let's wrap this all up with the key takeaways. We know our financial choices are always emotional. We know our brain is just hardwired for that short-term dopamine hit. We also know we prefer good stories over boring numbers, and we're always trying to prove ourselves right. So what does this all mean? It means your financial strategy has to be as unique as you are. It has to be designed to work with all these quirks, not pretend they don't exist.
And I think this quote just nails it. Handling finances isn't rocket science. It's brain science. It's not about being a math genius. It's about understanding that incredibly powerful ancient machine that's calling all the shots.
So we'll leave you with this question to think about. Your brain's code is ancient. It was written for a totally different world. But now you understand that code a little bit better. So the real question is, how are you going to rewrite your financial story?